Hello, America. Tonight we'll be interviewing presidential candidate Bryem Norman. How are you, Bryem?
I'm doing good, Sam. Thanks for having me on the show.
Anytime. All this tonight on Power 99. Welcome back. I'm here with Bryem Norman. And before we get political, let's hear about the personal life of Bryem. I hear you're a big collegiate basketball fan.
Yes, I love the Duke Blue Devils. They have a great team this year.
My info also tells me you're an alumni there.
That is correct.
Dynamite. What did you major in?
I majored in political science and minored in physical education.
Great. Let's get serious. Why do you want to become president of the greatest country, United States of America?
Because my distant Civil War ancestor, Ulysses S. Grant, also former president of the United States, was a radical Republican and tarnished our name. I would like to restore our name by running as a Democrat.
Wow, that's inspiring. Before we air tonight, you told me you had something shocking to tell the nation.
Yes, I will be attacking 4 major issues in my campaign, and they are gun violence, legalization of marijuana, the Patriot Act, and ending the war in Afghanistan.
By the beard of Zeus! That takes guts.
Yes, it does.
One of your 4 major issues on your campaign is legalization of marijuana. Why? What will it do for our nation?
Well, it would help control seizures while reducing the chance of addiction, while also easing the pain of cancer patients.
Really? Fascinating. What would the legalization do for our economy? And correct me if I'm wrong, you are planning to heavily tax it.
I am planning to tax, but not heavily. And well, the legalization of marijuana just makes sense to the free market capitalism that America prides itself on having.
Astonishing. Wow, that's really groundbreaking stuff. Now to our field reporter, Bailey Jasper.
Legalizing the use of marijuana would bring billions of dollars, I mean billions of dollars, to the U.S. It is estimated that the taxes and enforcement would come to about $8 billion to $16 billion.
Bailey, are you pro or con legalization of marijuana?
Obviously pro, because the facts don't lie.
Why is that?
The income can pull our economy out of a hole and turn the U.S. into an economic powerhouse. Regulations on production would be put in place, unlike the black market that laces marijuana with other substances that have greater side effects and more damaging results.
Moving on now. Next issue, gun violence. Now this one's a big one for you. Why is that?
Because it affects all kinds of communities, no matter what their status. Poor, rich, high class, low class, it affects them all.
Bryem, my information tells me that gun-related deaths are projected to surpass automotive deaths in 5 years. What are you going to do about this?
Well, if I'm elected, I plan to enforce stricter background checks on the purchasing of guns.
What do you plan on doing about school shootings, such as Virginia Tech, Columbine, and the most recent Sandy Hook?
Well, I plan to have specially trained security guards to help defuse any future situations. Doing this will help put jobs out there so the unemployment rate will go down.
Well, anyway, we're going to do a live caller. You're on the air with presidential candidate Bryem.
How you doing, Bryem?
Great.
I got a question to ask you.
What is that?
Should retired cops be allowed to keep their own guns without a background check?
They can keep their guns, but they have to renew their background check, just in case anything went down in the line of service.
Bryem Norman, the third staple in your campaign, the Patriot Act. Many people have no idea what this is or what it does with a definition. Tell us, enlighten us.
Well, the Patriot Act basically allows the government to spy on us and intrude on our privacy. For example, They can tap your phones and listen to your calls. They can also look at your internet history without a warrant.
So you're telling me, basically the NSA.
That is exactly it.
What is your take on the Patriot Act?
I believe the NSA is abusing their powers to the fullest extent that they can, and we need to do something about it.
Go on. What should we do about the NSA? And if you are elected, what will you do about the NSA?
Well, if I am elected, I plan to create a checks and balances system on the NSA to help prevent them from going out of line. And if they do go out of line, there will be severe punishments.
Bryem, we're almost out of time. Your last issue of your 4, the Afghan War. What is PTSD?
PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. It's where you have severe anxiety and flashbacks from Afghanistan. These flashbacks can happen at any time, any moment, any day.
Bryem, what is going on with the Afghanistan War? I have no idea what the Afghanistan War is about. I know more about Elvis's death than about the war.
Truly, I can tell you, we're doing absolutely nothing over there. Right? Nothing. It's a lost cause. Like, we're over there for no reason when we could have our troops in the other 6 wars that we're in fighting for a better cause.
Amen. So, Mike, going in on what Bryem was saying earlier, how much money have we spent on the Afghan War?
We've spent about $777 billion, which I think is outrageous.
It is outrageous, Mike.
Yes,
That's the taxpayers' money.
it is, and we're not even doing anything anymore.
All right, Mike, let's switch gears here for a second. The people want to hear about the wounded soldiers.
It's a really sad story, Sam. The wounded soldiers, they're coming home with limbs missing, PTSD, they can't function in normal life. And they're not getting the care that they need from the veteran hospitals. It's a sad story.
Very sad. Mike, what do you think about Bryem's news?
I think it's great that Bryem is attacking these issues, especially the war in Afghanistan. We need to bring the troops home.
So moving on now. Next issue, gun violence. Now this one's a big one for you. Why?
Because it affects all kinds of communities, no matter what their status is. Rich, poor, high class, low class.
Final port.
Regulations on production would be put in place, unlike the black market that laces marijuana with other substances that have...
Joining us from Detroit, Mike Marquette. How you doing, Mike?
Good, how are you doing, Sam?
I'm doing great. So tell me, how much money have...
I mean, we could just cut
Here,
it.
we cut that.
President is black, my Lambo's blue, and I be goddamn if my rims ain't too. Mama ain't at home, daddy's still in jail, trying to make a play.